And you thought that was the boss? Of course not. That was the sub-boss, remember. You always have one of those before the level's boss. Speaking of the devil. What's up everyone, and welcome to a new Let's Play video featuring the Terminator. Actually, it's placed in Chrome, a run and gun game very similar to the likes of Metal Slug and Contra. And the setting, as you can see, is very reminiscent to the Terminator movies, specifically the bleak future where machines are kicking the humans' butts and taking over the planet. I love this intro cinematic. If you don't have flashbacks of arcade games of the 90s, I don't know what's wrong with you, because this is a clear love letter to that era of gaming. And this is our main heroine, Marva, and her robotic friend, forgot his name already, who is pretty much a hacked machine. We'll be playing as Marva. She's the main protag, and her moves are very simple. They do play very similarly. I have to specify that this is a voiceover. I'm not actually speaking as I'm playing. I tried doing this, I couldn't. This game demands a lot of focus, and I couldn't talk as I'm playing as I usually do. I just couldn't. This game is too hard. It's too hardcore, as you'll see. It's crazy. The game asks you to choose a level which you can tackle at your own choice. You can go directly to level 4 if you want, but as you can see, the difficulty is not the same. So it's better to start with level 1, which has the lowest difficulty, and go up from there. So I was saying that this game, how it works, you have infinite continues, but you have only 5 lives in the normal difficulty anyway. I believe in the easy difficulty you have 7 lives, and the hardcore difficulty, which you unlock only after beating the game once in the normal difficulty. I was saying in the hardcore difficulty you have only 3 lives, and if you lose those lives, you are sent back to the latest checkpoint, and each stage has like a couple of checkpoints. And the most difficult aspect of the game, bosses, you don't have a checkpoint just right before a boss. If you lose to a boss and you run out of lives, you're sent back to the latest checkpoint, and you have to do an entire section of the level again. Hence the frustration that I was talking about. If you are familiar with games from the 90s era, especially the Contra games, you know what to expect. This game has a rad soundtrack, very 80s. How Marva plays, you have your machine gun, which is the default weapon. You have infinite ammo, of course, but that's the case also for the upgrades, for the power-up weapons. When you pick one of them, you can go back and select your default weapon and store them for a boss or something, and you have infinite ammo with those weapons too. However, if you are hit while equipping those weapons, you lose them. So as you can see here, I'm keeping them for later. I'm not using them. each stage have multiple bosses or mini bosses if you want. This is one of them, and I'm dead. You expect to die a lot in this game. This is a die and try in its purest form. You're gonna die a lot, and you have to memorize the enemy placements and the boss patterns in order to progress. And as you can see here, you have a mech that you can ride, just like Metal Slug, and this works exactly the same. You have the life of that mech just above it, symbolized in bullets like, and you have your body giving you assistance. This is a very action heavy sequence, but the whole game is action heavy. And one thing that I really liked about this game is how it changes the scenarios all the time, as if it's afraid of being boring, always throwing new stuff at you. Our helicopter friend, no! We just met! Helicopter friend! You will not be forgotten. Actually, it's fine. Spoiler. he survived that. And we'll meet the guy who did this to him. That's him. Let's avenge our friend. Now there I tried to, I had some Metal Slug reflexes. I wanted to benefit from the invincibility frame that you had from ejecting from the mech, because that's how Metal Slug worked. Not in this game. You don't have any invincibility frames, so I got killed instead. I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff the hard way. Yes, that was not the actual boss. That's the boss. You gotta fight the entire body. And as you can see here, this is not my first try against him. I died a bunch of times. And I'm still gonna die some few numbers again before killing him. To hit that core. So she has melee weapons when she gets near her target, but, and that's one of my problems with this game, actually I'll keep it for later. I'll talk about it more in details for later. The one aspect that annoyed me in this game. Oh, it's almost dead. And whenever a boss is almost dead, it just gets faster and throws more stuff at you. But I managed. First level cleared. Mission accomplished. Let's celebrate by chewing our bubblegum. So even though the world is so bleak and humanity is on the edge of extinction, they're still making bubblegums. Somehow. For some reason. Shouldn't you be more focused on, I don't know, essential food? So I jumped to the mission 3, but because it seemed easier than mission 2. But you know what? From my experience, that's now I'm just commenting the game, I think that's not the case. Mission 2 is easier than mission 3, even though the game says otherwise, from my experience anyway. It's a desert themes stage. You have some enemies that are only present in this level. Like these giant worms-like creatures, which I hate, by the way. They throw this salve of poison bullets at you, which are totally random and are very fast to react to, and sometimes you will avoid them purely by luck. Completely random stuff. That's one of the sequences when you can't move and shoot at the same time. It makes sense because because Marva is using her both arms to move, and I got hit because that jerk of robot messed up with my timing. I hate these guys that just keep spawning from behind. They don't know when to quit. Always trying to surround you. They're annoying. Now we have two of our worm friends. There I made a big mistake. Instead of taking the shield that would have been a lot helpful, I hit the tank in the wrong moment and I didn't get anything. So I paid it with my life. Of one of my lives. So that's what I'm talking about. These poison bullets are very hard to react to. They're very fast. And the times where I avoided them, it was by pure luck. The trajectory is very random. Alright, I hit the checkpoint. The checkpoint is symbolized by a fading to black. That's your cue that you got a checkpoint. That's when you can have a sigh of relief. Because if you lose all your life now, you'll respawn from there. Right, and here what looks like the level's boss. And big mistake, I lost my power up and my bot power up. Yes, that's big spider is a pain. But the hardest thing is that you have a countdown. You have a minute to kill it, or it's instant death. Back to the checkpoint. I managed. This sequence is one of the most frustrating sequences in the entire game. Seriously, I nearly rage quit in this place. I died so many times. You can tell that I already died at least once because my life number is back to 5. So what frustrates me is those enemies, those dog-like jerks. I hate them. They're so fast. Their movements can be unpredictable because sometimes they just run towards you, sometimes they jump and mess up your timing. They take more than one bullet to die. What I think the best way to deal with them is your melee weapon. And this is the time where I had to talk about the thing that I didn't like in this game, is how unreliable your melee weapon is. So it works just like in Metal Slug. If the enemy is too far, you'll shoot with your machine gun. If they're too close, you just hit them with your melee weapon. But how it works is that you don't, in this game, you don't have to keep mashing the attack weapon. You just press it down. If the enemy is too close, she doesn't switch automatically to her melee weapon. You have to let go first of the shooting button and then press it again. This fraction of a second will kill you more than you think. And I don't know why they did that. Maybe because the player will be overpowered. But I hate it. That's what makes the melee weapon so unreliable. This is the level's boss. He killed me so many times before I figured out his pattern. Once you do, it's not so hard. And you think you already dealt with him, but no! He has a second form. This jerk! And I've already lost my mech. And yes, he's very difficult. You have to... His only weak point is his head, which you can only hit if you are directly beneath it. Like that. But he keeps moving like that, and... and you have to move with him, just like you're dancing. And sometimes he jumps and tries to smash you to the ground, and you have to roll, which you can do by pressing down and the jump button. And the first time I fought this boss, I completely forgot about that. Forgot that Marva can do this move. So once you figure it out, it's manageable. But again, if you die to him, you're gonna do this entire section all over, dealing with those jerks of dogs again. Now to the mission 3, which is probably my favorite level. It looks very nice, and you have a bike. Isn't that very cool? These jerks throw these rocks at you, which leave some debris when you destroy it. I first didn't think that would kill me, but it actually do. The debris that these big rocks, I believe they are rocks or mines, I don't know what they are. But these debris, they're very small, but they will kill you if you're hit by them. And they blend very easily with background, so you need to be careful. Like here, I didn't see it. It killed me. This is one of the sub-bosses. I guess it's not a sub-boss, more of a bigger enemy. And I got a shield. I didn't talk about the power-ups. You have two types of power-ups, like active power-ups, or the weapons you get, which are three of them. You have the grenade launcher, the plasma, which you can hold down and shoot like a big laser beam that deals a lot of damage, and you have the, I think you already saw it, the whip-like thing, purple thing, I don't know what it's called. Those are the only weapons you pick up. But you also have passive power-ups like the shield that you just saw, which gives you basically 2 additional hits before you're dead, unless you fall into a bottomless pit. See here, I was talking about how unreliable the melee weapons are. It's very unreliable. You can't just smash the attack button, you have to time it very carefully, which is easier said than done. Yep, died a lot of time against these mantis-like robots. I hate them too. I hate them. So I was talking about the passive power-ups. You have the shields, you have the attacking bots, which gives you additional firepower, and the speed bots, which I believe gives you the ability to do a double jump. I did not realize it first when I picked it up, but you can have a double jump if you have the speed bot. Now I don't have anything but the plasma weapon, which I'm holding onto it at the time being. That's the grenade launcher. One thing that annoyed me too, whenever you pick a power up, you switch automatically to it, and that also got me killed so many times. That's the speed bot, the one that gives you a double jump. I was talking about how the power-ups got activated automatically. I wish if that wasn't the case, because I rely most of the time on my machine gun, which gets the job done on its own. It's very fast, it hits full screen, but sometimes if you pick for example the grenade launcher, it switches automatically to it and it doesn't fire up right away. And that's enough to get swarmed by enemies most of the time and get killed. I wish if that wasn't the case, as in if you pick a power up, it doesn't automatically activate it. That's actually when I realized that the speed bot gives you a double jump. I was like, oh, so that's how you can pick those seemingly inaccessible additional lives. In addition, of course, you can shoot in 8 directions with your default weapon, which is not the case in Metal Slug, except with the machine gun, I believe. Yes, only the machine gun allows you to shoot in 8 directions in Metal Slug. I made a big mistake there. I wanted the shield, but I was stuck with the speed bot. He's not very effective with this boss, or mini boss. So he has the shield on its own, and then I realized that I can shoot through it with the plasma gun, like this. Done. And checkpoint, yay! That's the last checkpoint before the boss, the stage boss. These enemies reminds me of a type of enemies in the Castlevania games, if you know what I'm talking about. Again, struggling with the melee weapons. I can't count how many times I died in this area. Actually, in the boss of this area. So I start to know exactly which enemy is attacking from what direction. And that's the whole point of this type of games. You will die a lot, and that's how we are going to memorize the enemy placements and progress. So it's okay if you die. You're supposed to. That's the attack bot, giving you an additional power up. And I lost it. I knew exactly those enemies are coming, but I still don't know how to avoid getting hit by them. It gets surrounded from all directions. It's very difficult to not die in this area. Shield or defense bot. My favorite. It's basically 2 additional lives. Unless you fell into a bottomless pit, as I said, and you lose them instantly. Those jerks trying to attack me from behind. Right, I dealt with them. You can go now. Come on, past me. So those are the reasons why I try melee weapons against those type of enemies. They don't die with one simple bullet. You just tank your bullets and keep charging at you, which is very annoying. I'm very close to the boss of this stage. But before the boss, of course, got to deal with a sub-boss. That's just how games like this one work. And he has a shield. Yep, they will weaken you before you get a chance against the real boss of the stage. Here, I already lost my shield. This boss is very cool though. He has one annoying attack towards the end, but other than that, he's cool. As this attack, I died to it a bunch of times before I realized that I have to jump exactly where the bullets hit. No need to move. Just switch to my machine gun in case I got hit. I didn't want to lose my plasma. Charge that. Does a lot of damage. I didn't fully charge it. He's almost dead though. I messed up big time there. That's on me. He's almost dead. That's the attack that I was talking about. It does this full screen and then it keeps following you. And as I got cornered. Ooh. Almost gets hit there. Alright, he's done. Good work, me. One mission to go. Is the most difficult so far. Here's a good example of good game design. They show you that these platforms aren't stable before they throw you to a bottomless obstacle to cross. So you're already aware of that. That's nice of them, the developers I mean. But sometimes they're completely unfair. let's be honest. There are some deaths you simply cannot avoid the first time, unless you have some kind of super sane reflexes. You're supposed to die. I repeat again that this is not. I'm not commenting as I play. This is a voiceover, and I already edited the gameplay as to not frustrate you with me with all the deaths I got. So whenever you see a 5 lives up left of the screen, you know that I already died a bunch of times. You already know that this is one of the continues I had to go through. This game can be really frustrating, but that's okay. It's supposed to be. This is when I realized that I was sure I was dead there, but I realized that they couldn't get to me, so I start chewing my gum before dealing with them with my grenades. And I could already see the unstable platforms. I knew I shouldn't stay for long there. This is the Alan O'Neill of this game. This jerk of robot. His moves are a lot less predictable than O'Neill from Metal Slug. I had a very hard time at the beginning. I was lucky there. I almost got hit. Oh no. See, there I tried to jump, but because I was pressing down, I did a roll instead. And this is also one of the things that I wish was improved. Why do I need to press down and jump to the roll? I'm playing on PlayStation 4 and there are a lot of buttons that are not used. Why not just assign the rolling move to a separate button? This is a game design from the NES era, where the controller only had 2 buttons. I wish if they didn't do that, just assign the rolling move to a separate button. I would have avoided getting killed there. So this place, I died a lot here. And you know why? Because of this jerk. I already got hit there. And the second time. I jumped too high. Oh, come on. That felt kinda unfair. Right, that wasn't the boss of the stage, obviously. So we continue with the level. Oh, look at this trap. Just as you go to pick it, you have two robots coming from both directions to ambush you. Nice try! Actually, they did kill me a lot of times, but not in this one. And frankly, I just don't want to frustrate you by showing you all my fails and having to redo all this stage over again and again and again. And look who we have here, our friend from before, or another model, but this time I got to avoid it vertically. It reminds me a lot from that boss from Metal Slug 2, the second one in Egypt. I was waiting for the bullet to go away, but I was already caught. That wasn't the level's boss either. We'll carry on, but at least we got a checkpoint. Now a new section, check this out. 3D! What insane technology! So you hop in this jetpack-like thing. My only complaint about this sequence is that it drags for a bit too long. And at the end of the tunnel, of course, you get to face the boss. But before, you guessed it, a sub-boss to weaken you. That's just how this game works. You can move the aiming separately from your own movements, but I find that very unintuitive. I just kept dying stupidly if I tried that. I just stopped trying to do that. And here's the boss, which is not too bad either once you figure it out its patterns. You have to deal with its right arm first, because it shoots these very fast bullets. Left arm shoots this plasma, which is easier to avoid. I messed up there, I moved very soon, way too soon. After that, the chest opens up and you got to shoot its core. And it has new attacks, obviously. and done. We finished the game, we finished the 4 levels that we get to select. Just kidding, of course we didn't. There is a 5th level that you unlock once you dealt with the 4 stages. And 5 level difficulty. Because of course it does. What did you expect? And who do we have here? Our helicopter friend is back, but he's learning from his past mistake, and he's not going to assist you in the slightest. He just drops you there and abandons you like a total hero. This is the second area where I almost rage quit too. It just drags for too long, and there's so many BS stuff thrown at you. Even though I knew it was coming, I couldn't avoid them. There are like these hazardous obstacles, bottomless pits, enemies from all directions. And you get to fight 3 mid-bosses in that one same sequence. That's the first of them. You need to jump and shoot because the lower half is protected. That's the second mid-boss. Flying jerk there, helped with other little flying jerks. And up to this point I never got to defeat him. So whatever you see from here is a blind playthrough of this sequence, not of the entire game. So I'm just very stressed. I was like, I still have 3 lives, I don't want to waste my chance. I was so stressed at this point. I don't want to redo this whole section. Because remember, if you lose all your lives, are going back at the very beginning. And that's what I was like, what? Another boss? Come on, what is this? And you have obstacles too? You have to take care of him from behind and obstacles from the front. But I managed to get the patterns very quickly, thankfully. And he's done. Those flying enemies type, they don't kill you just by contact. They'll carry you for a bit, and if you leave the screen, you're dead. And of course, you're completely helpless when they're carrying you. If you get shot, there is nothing you can do to avoid it. and that's one of the things that got me a lot of times too. You can't jump into a mech or a vehicle while shooting at the same time. You have to let go of the firing button first. Also, this is something that you will only learn by dying to it the first time. This is also a first try of this level. That's why I'm advancing very carefully. You again. You can actually gain an extra life by just by the score. And another mini boss. I'm not sure if I can keep calling them mini. I have this giant cannon with a lot of annoying brats shooting at you, melee ones, ranged ones, snipers. I was getting scared at this point. Am I going to lose all my lives in this fight? Got lucky there. I don't know how I managed to avoid all that. These jerks, I hate them. Alright. Good. Can carry on. Checkpoint. So this is the last checkpoint before the level's boss. I died a stupid number of times in this area because guess what? Our favorite enemy types are back. These freaking dogs. And you have these moving platforms too. Not sure what hit me there. I think I messed up my jump. That was one platform too high. I didn't mean to jump on that one. Oh well, I just tanked my way, taking advantage of the invincibility frames. Jerks, I hate them. Stop jumping! Avoiding the lasers. That went smoothly, because I died, I don't know, like 20 times there. I'm very close to the boss. Let's deal with these jerks first. One group from the right and the second one from the left. Here's the boss. It looks very weird, it's just a group of light bulbs that appeared. With these mantis-like jerks. Overall, it's okay. It's not very hard. The first phase anyway. Now to the second phase. And you thought that was the boss? Of course not. That was the sub-boss, remember. You always have one of those before the level's boss. Speaking of the devil. Throws poison at you as it dives back. I was too close. But the patterns are not very hard to react to. Oh, I got hit there, even though I thought I was far enough. I think it's dead. Yep. Alright. Mission 5 cleared, and we finished the game. Of course I was lying. There is a hidden mission 6, which consists mainly of boss battles. We have 2 bosses and then the final boss. We have multiple phases. Good luck! Alright, we're dead with that jerk. That's Aurea's first phase anyway. A lot of things that will kill you in this game are the active effects of projectiles and bombs. Sometimes you think you avoided a projectile or a bomb, but you don't realize that it stays active longer than you think. Now to the final boss, who has, again, a sub-boss. That's the sub-boss. He's I think it's the Alan O'Neill that we fought earlier, or someone like him. But it has new patterns. As you can see, I can avoid it very effectively here, because I think this is the 20th time or something. So I'm very familiar with the patterns at this point. Now, the first time I fought it, I already know he's not the final boss. Like, look at this looming presence in the background. That's certainly there for some reason. Yep, that's the final boss. Here it is. A big old giant robot. Now if you die to this boss, you only do this last sub-boss fight. You don't do the entire Mission 6 area. Thank God for that. But it still takes a lot of time and it's super hard. I got to shoot these floating thingies. Now it will suck you up into a digital 80s digital world, like looks like Tron or the Matrix, if the Matrix was made in the 80s. In case you're wondering, yes, these yellow cube will kill you if they touch you. And some of them spawn enemies, as you can see here. And at the end of this sequence, it's a doppelganger. Thankfully, it doesn't have a lot of life, so back to our main fight. Final boss round 2. Now it got new attacks, faster ones. Digital World round 2. Things are heating up now. Things moving a lot faster. Another doppelganger, but of your friend, the ninja dude. Just tanked my way there. Right, boss! Round 3, but it doesn't have a lot of life, thankfully. But you know what? I did die to him in that phase, in that third phase, and I had to do the entire fight again. Imagine that. And we finished the game. This one for real. Everything explodes and our friend comes to pick us up. It's a cool cinematic actually. The game does have a co-op, but I think only 2 players co-op. Not 4, more than I think so, I don't know. I don't have friends, so doesn't matter to me. We won, kinda. Even though we won, it's still kinda depressing because we're still screwed, even though we won this bastard. Mava looks like Samus, doesn't she? And those are the dudes that you unlock after finishing the game. Normal mode. Yeah, I like this game. It did frustrate me, and there are some aspects that could be improved, as far as I'm concerned anyway. But I did like it a lot. And now there is a very cool song that will play, but I'm not sure if it's copyrighted or not, so I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to carry it out. But it's really good, it's very 80s. So when you finish the game, you unlock these 2 additional characters, as I said, and a hardcore mode, because the game wasn't hardcore so far. The hardcore mode, basically you have limited continues and you can't save, and probably the enemies are more aggressive, probably. I didn't try it and I won't try it, no thank you. That's enough frustration for me. I don't hate myself that much. Finishing the game normal mode, that's more than enough. So that was Blazing Chrome, a really cool old school run and gun game. If you like Metal Slug, Contra, these type of games, you should definitely check it out. As far as I'm concerned, I think it did a better job than Metal Slug in the terms of progression. Metal Slug is very cool, it's a very good game obviously, but it was created for the arcades. You only have 3 lives, and if you die you have to spend some quarters in the arcades. But when it was brought to console, the challenge completely died off. Since you have infinite continues, there are no real challenges. You don't need to learn the game, the enemy placements or anything. You can basically tank your way through the game and reach the ending. Not in this game. You are required to learn the game, to die a bunch of times and learn the enemy patterns and such. And I think I like this a lot better. It's frustrating for sure, but it's very rewarding and satisfying once you conquer the level. And we reach Mother Base from Metal Gear Solid 5. That was the biggest twist of this game. So, thank you for watching Blazing Chrome. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time.